Hi sweets and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna finally give my review in the UomaBeauty Say Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation with Aglianico Grape Mark Extract, specifically formulated for fair skin. This supposedly it is a full coverage foundation. I have a normal skin type and I don't like a full coverage foundation in myself. I like to see it in other people but not in myself. Usually what I do is that I always apply my foundation in really light layers. I didn't apply this to get the entire coverage that it claims, but today, which is the last try that I did, I try my best to do it in a manner that I would be comfortable with it. As I'm 40 years old, I don't like to look that I have more age, and it isn't just that. Since I have been wearing makeup, I have always used a really light layer of foundation in myself. I rather wear the other makeup products. This is the unicorn of the foundation. This is a black owned company, and this is the actual foundation. It comes in a glass component and I really like the aesthetic. It has a pump, as you can see through the cap. I'm gonna do things differently. Usually I just split my screen and let you know in each of the tries how I did it, but today I'm only gonna do that with two, and the last one, it is what I did today, so you're gonna see it, let's just say it in real time. Let's go to the first try. The first try that I did was for my BoxyCharm unboxing, and there I used first what I had in my box, which was the Dr. Brandt Triple Antioxidant Face Cream. I applied this in my entire complexion. It left a really nice, normal, moisturizing feeling to the skin. Then I applied the Maapilim Eye Cream, a normal, regular eye cream. I applied the foundation in my entire complexion, and I used for the application a brush from Spectrum. It is a collection or a collab with another makeup artist. Also, I'm trying those brushes. Applied it and buffed it in my entire complexion. It didn't leave any streakiness or brush strokes, by the way, so they work amazingly together. For concealer, I went with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. It blended into the foundation really nicely. Then to set my concealer, I went with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder, just in my under eye. I didn't set my entire complexion. For bronzer, I went with the limited edition Nars Sunkissed Bronzing Cream, and it blends so nicely into the foundation. Since I'm testing that product also, I don't know if it is the Nars or if it was the foundation, but the blending was smoothless. Then I went with the Laura Mercier Blush Infusion. Also, it works wonderfully. I used another blush, which was the Nars Orgasm. For highlighter, I went with the Ciate London Confetti highlighter in the shade Confetti. And last but not least, I set my entire complexion with the MAC Fix Plus. I didn't set my entire complexion because I'm trying to just use powder when it's necessary. I live in a tropical island where we have a lot of humidity and it is hot usually, but we are in summer, so it is a lot more hotter than normally. That translates to makeup that you can actually get melted in the process of wearing makeup. All the island girls here, usually they set their foundation, but in this time I didn't set it and I didn't need it at the time. When I touched my face, it was completely set. It wasn't tacky, it wasn't sticky, it wasn't anything. The second try that I did with this foundation, it was for the video of a neutral look. For that one, I started with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enrich Face Base. Then I went with the foundation. I used this time a brush from Luxie, this one, which normally is one of the brushes that I go for. And when I applied it in my entire complexion, it didn't leave any brush strokes or streaky marks. It blended the foundation really nicely. Then I went in my under eye with my Becca Antifatigue corrector. Then I used the Bobbi Brown corrector in Bisque. I used a Pretty Vulgar undercover concealer. This is a really really like concealer that I enjoy a lot because of the way that it's done. Then to set my entire complexion, I use the Revlon Photoready Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. And I went with the Bobbi Brown Bronzing Powder in the shade medium. Then for blush, I went with a one from Pixi. Used for highlighter, a liquid highlighter. This was the one from Algenist, the concentrated luminizing drops in the shade Pearl. I didn't like it at first when I used my fingers to apply it. It was like, I don't know, it wasn't blending properly. Then I used a brush and it really did the trick. And last but not least, I used the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Powder to buff my entire complexion with it. I really, really love this powder. I wish that CoverGirl will bring it back again because it is such a lovely, lovely powder, and it's really smooth and it is like nothing in the face. I didn't use any setting spray or mist for this try. And now for today's. I'm gonna smooth my pores a little bit. This usually I don't do. I'm gonna use my Clarins Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch. So I'm gonna use my nail and I'm gonna press it in the areas where I have a little bit of large pores. Now for the rest of my complexion, I'm gonna use the Touch and Soul Pretty Filter Glassy Skin Balm. Now I'm going to use the Uoma foundation today because it's the last day of trying on that I'm doing. I'm going to build it up a little bit. Firstly, I'm starting in the center of my face in stamping motions, which is going to give me more coverage. My first pump is already used, so now I'm gonna go do a second one there. For my liking, I don't need it, but I'm gonna see if I can build it up in some places. Face done. This is how I'm looking with one pump and a half. I agree with this foundation being a soft matte because when the light reflects my skin, you can see a little bit of luminosity, and in this area I didn't use any hydrating primer. I just used the pore filling one from Clarins. Just in the perimeter of my face is the one that I use, the Glassy Balm. Now we're gonna breeze through everything else that I'm going to apply in my face to finish up my base. And then I'm going to give you my final thoughts of this foundation. This is what I did for today's try. I love my eyes. I wanted to do the same thing that I did in my bottom lashes in my eyes, and this is what I got. I'm using also Vina Volume 1. So yeah, let's just say that the foundation do what it's supposed to do. It is a soft matte, firstly. It is weightless because I don't feel it in my skin. Also, it really covers. You can build it up to get a full coverage, but I don't like it, which I didn't do it myself, but this one is capable of doing that. It is really easy to blend. I use different brushes for the application. I usually don't use sponges. Very rarely I use sponges. I know that it is what everybody uses at this moment, but I am a makeup artist. For sanitary reasons, I don't use sponges, and I got used to not using them. So sweets, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I really appreciate it. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a video, press the notifications bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.